against Pobelter. Really just got to call back to that first game between TSM and COG, though, beating up on the Lulu. Very impressive. Not something many teams have been able to do.
And I said that Link may have the advantage at level 2 on that.
Yeah.
He showed. Reginald showed. The Gragas can as well.
Reginald powered through.
We'll see what will be left up. A lot of bans revolve around Kassadin, Gragas, and Olaf for these teams. You don't see the Gragas or the Olaf really falling into play anymore. That used to be very big.
Nerfed Kassadin, not on the ban list.
That was because Zuna was in the jungle. Not anymore. Here we go. Pantheon is going to be off. And we are into the picks. Inox is going to be the first one. Usually Inox gets his pick last. Pobelter's happy to somewhere pick it in the middle. They're going to show a card master to start it off here as they begin to hover.
Pick a card, any card. Probably not Twisted Fate. Right off the bat.
That would not be in the hands today. See what they do decide to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of options for them here. Obviously, Kassadin is on the table. They first picked Kassadin in the past. It was a defeat for Pobelter, especially with the nerfs. 20 less damage on Q, 40 less damage on E. It's not likely. They first picked Morgana yesterday as well, though.
It's Cloud9, too.
And it was really the lone bright spot for their game yesterday, in which they were basically obliterated, was the performance of Krepo's Morgana in the bottom lane.
It is interesting. He runs that 17.5% cooldown reduction. Not many Morganas will do that.
A lot of cooldown.
Trying to get all the attacks out as quick as possible from the abilities. Benny, XSmithy now chatting it out. You can see Benny doing most of the talking here. XSmithy, he seems like he knows what he wants to lock in already. He's not had a chance on Vi since he's been back in the jungle, and that Caitlyn has seen 2 plays coming from Zuna so far.
Interesting how they're so readily locking in the Vi right up against a Morgana. If they're looking for mid-game team fights, Vi will not be able to ult targets that get Black shielded. She'll be on the way, and then she just won't get the knockup.
Yeah.
She gets there. Haven't locked that in, though, yet. Smithy's
Boom.
confirmed it. It's happening. It is a nice combo, though. When you have the ace in the hole on someone, since Vi knocks aside all the targets on the way, you can actually clear the path for the ace in the hole to hit whoever you want.
Pretty sweet. I always liked the...
I think she also has like a... They have custom BO line when that happens, too.
Oh, yeah,
When they both ult the same target.
I always liked the Lux on support when she played it with the Caitlyn, because then when you dodge the bullet, you get a full double laser. Just cuz. Evelyn getting picked out. I was going to say Smithy had an Evelyn play in week 7, but Snoopy is going to go back onto that one. We saw a lot of counter jungling from his Evelyn yesterday. A little different.
Some dangerous counter jungling as well.
Right.
He's going to want to perform a little bit better than he did yesterday on that, but it's the resurgence of Eve that we're seeing from Snoopy. They need the early game presence of Eve, I believe, for that Jinx Morgana lane to really get going. I think that's potentially their plan very early on in the game. Jinx, a bit of a dangerous pick, very easy to dive onto. Also the fact that Yellow Pete is 0-3 on Jinx so far this split. This is try number 4.
Yeah. We're looking at XDG on your screen right now, but we were just on EG's pictures, and I've never seen a team laugh so much in every Champion Select. I don't know what they talk about, but they are always having so much fun in Champion Select. On the side of XDG, as we're about to get back over to EG's picks, the Annie, the Shyvana coming out, pretty standard out for them. Looks like they're getting pretty much everything they want to be safe. I don't think they're really having any goals with this composition.
Yeah, I would agree that it's very safe so far. They're waiting to counterpick ManCloud's mid laner as well, which is very important when you're considering the breadth of the mid lane champion pools. Pobelter with 11 unique picks, ManCloud with 10. There's the laughs.
Everywhere, every time. Ooh.
Except for Yellow Pete.
Oh, the Gragas top lane, or are we going to get the Nidalee mid lane? Could be Pobelter's Gragas as well, but they're kind of switching it up. EG likes to do this.
Nice. Inox's top lane Gragas is really good. His top lane Nidalee's also good. So what they've done here is they've also created a difficult choice for ManCloud. He has to prepare for both of those lanes with his pick here. Yasuo would be something that he would have picked in the past, but it has, of course, been nerfed in the 4.3 patch. Kha'Zix saw a fair bit of success yesterday, and considering EG picked a very squishy team, getting something like Kha'Zix to follow up on Shyvana Initiation could be a very good combo.
ManCloud putting his
to play it
champion pool a little bigger with this one. If he does lock in the Kha'Zix, that brings him up to 11 unique champions played. Like we said, he's had quite a weight on his shoulders. Everybody looking at him, kind of saying he needs to carry once again.
Yeah.
He's opening up the champion pool to do that, trying to do what he can. His Lulu play, like we said, was quite good, and he locks in the Kazakhs for this game, going for the assassination.
There's 1.74 KDA on the year. Going to want to improve that, but he's farmed a lot of minions yesterday, so he's practiced that up.
Push it, minions.
I really do like the Kazakhs pick in the end here, though, just because of how squishy the EG lineup is overall and how inescapable Jinx is, or there's a better word for that. How Jinx can't escape from things very well.
You know what?
As well as being inescapable once she gets a few resets.
We'll see what she can do. A lot of people have been picking Jinx without the Thresh. They were kind of thinking that was the taster's choice, if you will, for the combination. You're going to give her safety, you got to give her the Lantern, but people have been trying their hand on it, and they actually haven't been winning, which is a little weird that they keep going back to it. A lot of people are knowing that the games go longer, and that's when Jinx can hyper push all your turrets. So maybe that's what they're looking for. EG does like the long game.
And there is a huge amount of poke coming out from the EG team comp. So if they get a little bit ahead in these lanes, you can expect them to try and siege up a lot on the XDG turrets.
All right, as the teams load onto the Rift, let's take a look at the voting from LOLesports.com, and it is 71% of you that think that Evil Geniuses will take this game over XDG.
Yeah. So the same percentage that thought TSM would take out
30s.
CLG.
Yeah.
This two teams that are really struggling to get out of that relegation zone. Last place team in XDG, 4-13, despite going 20-8 in the summer split of 2013. Huge difference.
A little different.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, I know they're not, they don't dwell on the mistakes, but would the change have been more beneficial sooner, putting Zuna back on AD carry, if that kind of wasn't a mix-up? There were a lot of things that XDG has gone through this year, and now finding more wins with what they had.
Well, now they're back.
Now they're back.
So it's all about trying to make up the lost time.
They got the chance, indeed. The head-to-head between EG and XDG is 1-1. We're on to the Rift here, day 2, game 71 in week 8, super week. Going to offer a lot, and now EG versus XDG on the Rift.
Double Frost Queen from the Morgana and the Annie. Going Frost Queen on Annie is a very greedy proposition. She's very squishy early game already, and can't necessarily activate it as easy as Morgana. X Special did it yesterday and got away with it, but it could mean for a very aggressive lane in the bot lane. As well as far as starting items, Inox has a Doran's Blade on Nidalee, which doesn't necessarily mean he's not going AP. You can see from his runes he's got a bunch of AP. 33 ability power right now in the game. But it does mean that he is going to be relying very heavily on his ranged auto attack to try and shove Benny out of lane.
See what he can do. Benny on Shyvana, that rush down early champion. So hopefully Inox can keep his distance. Snoopy creeping around. Going back on Metal Gear Solid for this game. We'll see what he can do. He can get himself in and out of any sticky situations here. It's going to be tough against the Vi. These two meet each other, and there's definitely going to be much punching to be had. Bottom lane being guarded out by Crepo, Sheep in the same rights. Looks like they're all just going to do the line of scrimmage as Inox looks for a little one-up.
No more funny business after CLG violated the code yesterday, just in the game earlier, by killing the odd one while Dyrus was playing.
Yep.
Hey!
Whoa!
Whoa!
That was quite dandy damage there.
That was a lot.
That's that early AP coming out. He definitely put a lot into it.
And the timing of that spear means Smithy can't actually go back and chop, so that means they know Smithy is going to burn through more health potions before getting his ganks off. I believe he had to drink 2 before the jungle even starts. Nice spears.
ManCloud ready to receive damage in mid. He goes consumable. Let's see if Snoopy can help out Inox. I feel like he's going to get a lot of pressure on that. Smithy has a bone to pick with him. And we're going to see if they can make it happen.
One really important thing about that Nidalee spear, though, is Benny stuck around to help with the pull, which meant Inox got early shove on the lane. Therefore, he'll hit level 2 and start beating on Benny in that top lane.
So we can get the auto attacks in. Zuna making his way into the bush for a nice proc on the headshot, and they get a good damage trade in the early part here.
Yeesh.
And they're going to queue the lane. They're looking for level 2 fast.
It's going to be a really tough lane for XG to stick with. Such long range. 650 from Caitlyn, 625 from Sheep's Annie. Already getting some good harass out. That Frost Queen, or there's 3 names for that item. It keeps changing. The Spell Thief's Edge. The blue thing
into the upgrade.
that Sheep has. really enhancing that auto attack harass for Manny.
So it'll be cold-hearted queens soon enough, chat. See what they have in the top lane. Krepo getting pushed in. ManCloud, like we said, on the consumables, but still can go hard on Kha'Zix. Right now getting hard on, and it looks like that's not what you want to say. ManCloud's going to get hit up. Oh, dear. That was a little different. Benny's getting some action in the top lane as well. Snoopy's going to be able to put the pressure on. ManCloud gets himself out of a sticky situation. Pole Belter uses Ignite there, so he's got to be careful.
He took 2 turret shots, so he's got to go back. Got a little ahead of himself with some of that early harass, and I think it ends up costing him in the lane because the lane got froze at a very poor spot there where ManCloud can farm right in front of his turret. Get some of that farm back.
Sometimes the kill just looks so good, you want to try to get it. Put yourself in a bad spot. She takes a quick missile out from Yellow Pete as they keep the lane at a pretty reasonable farm spot. That 75% push here for XDG. Yellow Pete doesn't have to worry about the turret, and it gives a lot of room here on the other side for Snoopy to come in, but not so much for Xmithy.
Yeah, Xmithy's actually trying to find Snoopy right now, protect his lanes a little bit. He was hoping that there would be a gank bottom. Junglers might end up meeting each other in the mid lane here, though. Snoopy's and Smithy coming in.
And sweaty belly to the face, and he's going to be out of there. ManCloud didn't want any more. He was looking for Xmithy's help. Xmithy without smite. Yeah, he's not in his jungle. Snoopy back on the Wraiths. A little deja vu here. Oh, he leaves 2 this time. He's being nice.
He's going to be able to get both of these camps counter-jungled if he wants to. He does not want to.
No, good wards down, though. And Xmithy was in the jungle, so they'll be able to see Snoopy once he starts farming. But he's not in the bottom. He's on the top, and they're ready to give Benny some pressure
Just
again.
lost his red buff, though. If he ganks up top lane, he's only going to get a little harass down on the Benny. And Ox alright just farming that lane, I think. But if they send 3...
A level 4?
It's a whole nother story.
Pole Belter run.
Bit of a dangerous gank here, but they do know Benny's flash is down, which means the dive is going to be a little easier.
That was quite early.
They got to shove this really fast, otherwise Benny's going to go back or he's going to get support from Xmithy.
They're kind of doing this in waves. They say, we'll show Snoopy, he'll think that's all that's there, but then he looks mid lane and ManCloud calls for no Pole Belter. He starts to back off.
Benny put a very smart ward behind him as well to avoid getting tower dove, and it's more lost time for a Pole Belter.
There's a level 5 that ManCloud has been able to get with this Pole Belter roam. That is a bug indeed, but we may see the splat. No splat. He gets safely out.
Very good catch there by ManCloud, understanding where Pole Belter would be walking back. Pole Belter was trying to save time, and it cost him his entire health bar. Pole Belter's trying to bait the dive here. He's being a little obvious about it.
Don't do it. Very nice though. He can do the harass. I think he's considering Xmithy was even ready for that. Everybody's quite low for the amount of aggression here. I'm thinking Xmithy's going to come in with the Assault and Battery, but still they're divides by just the 3 first abilities. 7.2 to 7.4 as XDG has a bit of a farm lead. Not too much is going in the way of either team, though.
XDG showing pretty strong laning, especially in the mid and bot lane. A lot of power by Zuna and Sheep in that bottom lane out farming. ManCloud says hello to Eve. They're going to try and kill him.
Whoa! Xmithy 1, 2 shots, a 3rd shot. See you later. First blood going over to Snoopy.
No.
Whoa, no way, that just happened. Double kill for Snoopy Z.
How to take a good thing and make it bad. Do a 2-man tower dive when you do not know where Gragas is. He comes back into the lane, catches the mid dive, and Xmithy had flashed in so he couldn't flash out, and then ManCloud does the same thing. This is one of these from bad to worse situations where instead of trying to flash over the race for an escape, he tries to flash forward and get at least 1 back. But they burn both flashes and get double killed. That's about the worst possible thing you can do.
Man, it would have been a lot better if everybody was 6 and they could have got some assault and batteries in there, but XDG tries to go hard to get an early lead and gives just that to EG. 1,000 gold quickly comes to that from the mid lane. Pole Belter is 6. It's a ManCloud 6 right now, but he has some gold to spend after that double kill going on to Snoopy. He picks up a Lizard Elder as well, and he can start being a little more harassy.
Yeah, now they might just start doing some jungle invades. They know there's no flash on Smithy, and Inox knows that Benny just went back to base. If they could take this swiftly, it's safe, but the longer they take, the higher risk of Benny collapsing on them.
Really strong play, knowing they have the upper hand there. A bunch of level 6s as well to be used. The jump for the cask. At least they get out with the red buff.
I really have to go back to that dive in the mid lane, though. It was
of course.
Just such a miscalculation by XDG. It's not like Pole Belter had boots or anything special to get back to lane faster.
Oh, Crepo with the dodges. The blue suede shoes. Fancy feet there, and it looks like he gets out. He has to use the flash, but he would have gone down otherwise to that Caitlyn trap. Looks like they'll try to push back here. They have Snoopy on one side. Maybe with this lane behavior, they can actually get themselves into a good spot for Snoopy to gank.
He's just trying to get more and more counter jungling down right now. If he beats Xmithy to this point, he's going to get a pretty substantial experience edge, counter jungling both of his buffs. Great job by Snoopy. This is the thing with EG. When they get an advantage, they're incredibly good tactically. As soon as they have that edge, all right, take both buffs. Go in at the right time, get them. Now XDG's even farther behind. Let's watch how EG continues to execute their advantage.
And it's going to be harder to get ahead in this game if Xmithy cannot get 6 sooner. He's also not going to have the items to want to be in the middle of a fight. They're making it very hard for his Vi. Maybe something he hasn't been playing lately with all the Pantheon, Elise, and whatnot in the top tier there. See what he can do going in. He does have that Spirit Stone. He's still trying to build up. Pink Ward's getting cleared out for XDG, or with XDG in the bottom lane. They try to take a little bit more control back. It's getting to a 2,000 gold lead now.
Yeah, about 1,000 of that is Snoopy over Xmithy with that completed Spirit of the Elder Lizard. 2,900 to 2,100 as far as that gold is concerned. And then the rest of it is just spread pretty evenly amongst the lanes. Solo lanes for EG obviously doing better than bottom lane, like usual for them when they succeed. Inox's top lane, Nidalee, having a lot of success against Benny out here.
Inox himself, 1-1 on Nidalee, but he does enjoy playing these champions that can make an impact and really turn the game. One good spear and you get yourself into a fight that you otherwise would not have. Just on the outside, Xmithy waiting in the wing for an engage.
Yeah, he is falling really far behind on Vi. He pretty much needs this to work if he wants to get back in the game. But Inox doesn't have a need to get super aggressive here. It's not like he's close to a kill on Benny. He's happy just farming. He's doing that AP Nidalee once again and having great success with it.
Blue buff transfer over to Pobelter, who himself is going Seeker's Armguard. Looks like that'll go straight into the Zanyas. Quite a bit of dive and flash Tibbers he'll be dealing with from Sheep in this game, and he doesn't want to be able to take that. 80 carries going pretty slow this game. It's been a while in that lane.
Yeah.
Only gone back by the Scepter so far.
Well, as far as bottom lane is concerned,
they've been left alone too.
Yeah. Fairly isolationist, which is what EG has actually found success with. Snoopy has not been able to gank that lane successfully, but when he's able to help out Pobelter and Inox, the team has been able to win here. Ultimate up for Pobelter, kind of hoping ManCloud gets aggressive on him. It is not to be. ManCloud's a little gun shy after that last encounter under the EG turret.
Fool me twice, doesn't want it to happen. Pobelter, level 9 to level 8 in the mid lane. He's got some good damage already with just 2 of the ability tomes under that Seeker's Arm Guard. Blue buff to nothing on the side of ManCloud, but he does have that pickaxe for a little bit of damage if Xmithy can get in the right spot. But right now, like you said, XDG really isn't in the position to engage. Yeah. Too far down behind or in gold. And now Pobelter.
Might try another 3-man dive here, round 2, because Benny this time is a little bit low. And
this one has a little bit more
Pobelter's gonna
chance to kill.
Do anything? No.
Saving his trinket. I like that from Benny as well. He's had the trinket up for quite a while, but every time he feels super threatened is when he puts it down, knowing that minute is going to be pretty much his life.
You know the lane's not going well when that's your most common trinket ward spot.
Yeah.
It's like, are they going to dive me? Are they going to dive me? Okay, but because they sent 3 up there, it's going to be turret traded for Dragon. Not the biggest advantage either side. Similar gold traded back and forth.
And with the right vision, that could have been bad for Xmithy. Cask and a barrel would have meant death, but they get out. Not going to happen this time. There will be more dragons to go, however. 2-0 for EG as they found those kills, still only on to Snoopy, and that was because of XDG's initiation. We haven't really seen EG, besides going top lane, try to get anything for themselves yet.
No, they're kind of putting the onus on XDG to do stuff. Pobelter's done a little bit of roam up top, but Benny's been able to see it coming. When they know Inox has that lead on Nidalee, and now that Pobelter has just hit another level, they can start their poke kind of whenever they want. I think if they get a Themes Unholy Grail on both Inox and Pobelter, we're most likely to see the siege get set up then, because at that point it would be one Dark Binding landed on almost anyone, and it would be a kill. Very potent siege and push potential from EG. They might be starting it now.
Looks like they got a good amount of vision from that ward by Wraiths on the top side of XDG. Inox is going to come down here, know that they're safe to get very close pressure onto the turret. Maybe with that Primal Surge, they can give Yellow Pete enough attack speed to take down the turret.
But they're abandoning their mid lane right now. I do not think Pole Belter needed to come down. That turret was going to die with just 3, and now their mid lane's exposed.
Going to be a big wave there. No, XDG moves off of this one as well.
XDG is scared right now. They did not need to run that quickly.
Both of those blue was a little iffy.
Yeah.
Big clue.
Oh, well, we have the advantage of complete vision. They do not. As you can see, their ward control is very low. They had that one ward at the dragon, so the knowledge of Pole Belter wasn't necessarily there, and that's why they backed away so quickly.
Kind of cluing each other in into what's going on, and nothing worked because they were both thinking the wrong thing. 14 minutes into this one, Snoopy just picking up some lane tax in the top lane as it crashes into the turret. 61 to 51, still doing quite well on Eve, but hasn't really, like we said, provided anything for the team other than that mid gank. Pole Belter getting big with a needlessly large rod. Going to force a jump out of Man Cloud, but he just sidesteps the binding.
XGG really wanting to get something cheap. Flash ult is up on Annie. But they've just been missing out on this game so far. Being down 2 turrets with a heavy poke potential coming from EG, they're going to be forced into some pretty difficult initiations. A lot of onus will be on Xsmithy and Sheep to try and make those plays happen.
And Xsmithy's done less finding of Snoopy. He himself, we said, was far behind. Starts with the Hex Drinker right off the bat because he knows he needs to be able to stay alive long enough to assault and battery these fights.
I mean, he's up against nearly full AP composition. Yellow Pete bringing the only physical damage to the table. And
somewhat a lack of vision being cleared out right now by Crepo down there. They didn't know if they could keep going in on that fight. They feel fine to clear pink wards and start moving up everything they have. See if they get mid.
Yellow Pete's got to be a little careful setting up these sieges. I think it's safer for EG to let Pole Belter and Inox spam a little bit and get some people low, and then allow Yellow Pete to go up there, because if he presents himself as a target, that's what EG
bullseye.
definitely on.
There's so much ridiculous poke from the Dark Bindings to Zap to barrels and those spears coming in. I would not want to be XDG right now. It's not easy to guard a turret unless you're using your face. Sheep is using his face.
Yep.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh god! No! Oh.
This is Sheep's life right now.
I need a defibrillator.
He's just seeing things flying in his face. Every single one could kill him.
His life is flashing before his eyes along with these skill shots right now. Oh god, Zuna. All right, they got a little space to work with now. A little bit more room to run left and right.
They dodge enough bullets, and EG disperses to the side lanes.
XDG calls Ali Oxen free. They push off the turret. We're 16 minutes in. We get away from that. A little stressful. EG is going to want to pressure back into that once again, though, in just a few. Get wards down in the mid lane, and they're trying to keep it pretty warded up. And for XDG side, I was going to say, finally, that pink wards goes from Zuna. Sheep still has one. I figured those would have come out a little earlier with Snoopy on Eve this game.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing, pink warding, and Snoopy wasn't necessarily finding the best gank paths. One of the things is with XGG losing control of the mid and top lane kind of so early, the pink wards weren't 100% necessary because Snoopy would have had to come around the back of turrets to dive with Eve, which is pretty difficult for her early on in the game. Snoopy, of course, though, going to be going full tank Eve when the poke gets set up, and it's absolutely required, because EG is so squishy and so poke-based that Snoopy really has to go in alone, and XG is going to turn on him when he does that, so he's got to be able to start.
This composition is so scary as well to approach at the second tier of turrets. We always say that the outer second tier turrets are scary. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Smithy going to punch.
Good damage, though.
Will not go in. That was very big, especially for not trying to build up a Lizard here. Just that Hex Drinker first. He's probably going to have to go tank after this. Very nice, trying to apply a bit more damage. And obviously, it's not going to win a fight, but it will reduce the pressure on this turret.
Crepo no longer able to get super aggro with his Dark Bindings, but you can see he had a bunch of health potions.
Yep.
You know, plus Nidalee helps. Now he's full.
Oh, Benny here. Little dodge out
There
of the
comes.
spear. Going out of Pobelter. He can go to body slam over the wall, and he does with the shield on. Benny's in the fight. Can everybody follow up? ManCloud comes in. He does get 1Q. Is the reset for him there? There's a kill coming in for Inox onto Benny. It's the 1v1 now. Snoopy versus ManCloud. The blue buff for ManCloud forces the flash onto Snoopy. Zuna and Yellow Pete were going toe-to-toe there for a second. Looks like they come out even.
Yeah, very crazy initiation. XDG's going to have to do more of that. You can see they burn almost all their flashes just to get in on EG, but they do come out on top 3-2 in that fight. Very chaotic one overall, but XDG does stop the push with it.
4-3 after a little skirmish in the mid lane. Everybody finally figuring out what kind of power can come out of each other.
Yeah, you can see Pobelter was disjointed from the rest of his team, which is why it's the right time for Sheep to go in. But then you can kind of also see the power of Black Shield, not letting that Assault and Battery lock him up. And it's because EG wasn't running away really together. If they can stick together, the peel from the Morgana ultimate will be better for them to run away with. Same with Black Shields. When they're disjointed like that, it allows Kha'Zix to get pickoffs. Oh dear.
Ooh.
If the Gragas ultimate was up, that would have been a dead Sheep.
See EG still pushing mid on this. Sheep has to back. They don't have Tibbers anyways, so he's not going to be able to prove too useful to the team right now being so low as well. Blue buff still on ManCloud. They'll be able to clear these out. He's got the Tiamat, but it's scary to even get in front of their own turret right now with the amount of poke.
Surprisingly critical wave clear there by ManCloud. EG didn't realize that they could have stayed as 5 pushing by the time ManCloud had cleared that wave. If he hadn't cleared that wave, I think EG would have got substantial damage on the inner turret.
And ManCloud playing this a little differently. You saw Skara yesterday upgrading that ultimate.
Yeah, that was a little weird by Skara. More so than what ManCloud is doing. Getting his claws and wings first for the big gobbles.
Big gobbles.
There's
indeed.
the next one.
Dinner is served. And it looks like Benny's going to try to get a retribution kill onto this one. EG's coming in a little slow to the fight here, trickling in, but they do start to gain ground in the upper hand. Good Dark Binding to the backside stops anything from Benny. He's already in dragon form, so he's not going to be giving anything surprising out.
What a vicious poke combination that EG has. Pobelter body slammed his way into a little bit of trouble there, but the advantage still stays. 2 kills and a bunch of damage on that turret.
Gotta be careful. That's Snoopy. He's doing the Metal Gear Solid again.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Good flash there. Looked like I possibly would have been. I didn't see if it was a stun coming from Sheep, but I don't think it would have gone hard on it if it wasn't. He says, yeah, you want to fight me? We have full vision. The spear misses, but I do not think that Xmithy wanted to get into this fight by himself.
Yeah.
Not the situation.
Overprotection of his own territory right there. A little bit of frustration coming in from the jungler. Trying to get some revenge for his fallen brother, the Pink Ward.
A little bit of tank on Eve keeps her pretty healthy during that.
Yeah. This is just a replay of the Dark Binding. You can see they already had a little bit of damage. Boom. That wasn't even everything. You know, they could have hit with a couple more spells. Every single person can contribute in some way.
Yeah.
Snoopy hits him with an ultimate.
But Walter with the Zanyas now gets himself safety from what ManCloud can deliver into the fight, and that's going to be big for ManCloud. If he chooses the wrong target, that's a lot of damage that's going to be missed out in these fights that team needs. A very fast Banshee's Veil coming in for Benny as well.
Yeah, you need that Banshee's Veil. Benny going full magic resist. He would be the one who could maybe get strong enough to carry his team here. He's been in a situation like this before against Cloud9, actually. He got very fed on Shyvana against Cloud9's double AP composition last week, and it's tremendously impactful on Shyvana. He's going to need to do that again, but he just doesn't have too many farm opportunities in this game.
Very smart. Yellow Pete walking off that situation. I think he pats himself on the back for now seeing that ManCloud was just waiting in the fog. Inox to the top lane. Not a whole lot of farm coming in this game. 155 to 145 in that top lane.
It's because there's been so much grouping in the mid lane. The last 5 minutes of this game has just been EG pushing through that mid lane. Now that Benny's set up a little bit of split push action, it's very good for them.
Yeah.
They've also trapped Inox a little bit. He's on 1,300 unspent gold that he does not want to be trapped up there with. But as soon as they leave, turrets start coming back from XDG and Benny gets stronger.
XDG is, that 3,000 gold behind right now. We've said before, with all the turrets sitting on the map, those 3 outer turrets is a lot. Agony's Embrace to the backside. Sheep has to throw down the ultimate, but it's not enough to stop them all. Zuna could be in trouble as well. Pobelter waiting on the body slam. And he does not get it, but he does get the flash. Azuna, that was some big damage, leaving Zuna with 210 as he walks away.
The Super Mega Death Rocket missed by a bit, but he shot it from a really far ways away, to give him some credit there.
He's got to clean off his lenses. That's like the third missed rocket, though.
Yeah, his sight is a little misaligned this game. But overall, XDG has to split push.
Yeah.
Is kind of the name of the game. Oh.
One for the road.
Yeah. They have to split push because it's been shown in the past 7 minutes or so, sitting in the mid lane and taking EG's poke is just a completely one-sided battle. If they're ever grouped up as 5, they need to have their flashes and they need to initiate immediately. And if they do not have their flashes like that, they have to be split pushing and avoiding EG as a 5-man unit. Because as soon as EG's all together, it's that one dark binding into an instant kill.
Well, I'm sure this is not really confusing them, but really wanting to make them pull their hair out even more. Every time they get bottom lane, somebody's there. Finally, it may not be Yellow Pete, but now Pobelter's going to come guard the bottom lane. They're really rotating well to stop XDG from getting their base, but still, they're not pushing themselves for another advantage. They're waiting for XDG to make all these moves.
This could actually be first few turrets of the game for XDG if they can keep this split push up. ManCloud and Benny both getting substantial pressure in their solo lanes.
He loses that quick vision on what could have been an engage. That Zanya's, though, is going to give Pobelter the upper hand if he can use it at the right time. If they go toe-to-toe, Smithy wants to tilt the scales on this engagement possibly, as everybody kind of feeling out what to do next. This is almost looks like what we see at level 1. Everybody's just spread out across the map.
Right now, ED's trying to get the XGG split push under control,
yeah,
so they can find another grouping opportunity. Maybe even take the next dragon, which is coming up soon. Could be a good opportunity for XG to fight, but uh-oh, there's a binding.
Zuna gets caught.
Oh.
Linesman.
Defense.
Whoa, Inox going very hard onto that one. He thought he had the burst. A huge primal surge. Could it save him? Almost gets himself out, but the denting blows comes in big. Sheep's going to get dropped on the backside as Snoopy keeps on that pursuit.
Even
they come
so,
up with 3 kills for 1.
The 3-1 with the ManCloud in the bottom lane means a barren opportunity for EG right now. Benny would have to be a hero to stop this one. He's going for Crepa. That's a lot of damage.
It's going to be 1. I don't know if he wants what's on the other side of that brush, though. He gets out.
This is actually pretty good by XDG. Benny was pulling them off Baron, and then ManCloud tried to take the Dragon. They prevent the Baron and instead make EG go down for the Dragon.
Gonna get a pink ward out of it as well. Good gold coming in for EG. They're now trying to work off the ball a little bit. That was a good initiation from the Fog of War by Crepo. He was the one to get that one going. And that means that XDG is going to need to get a little more map coverage out, because that can't happen again.
It's just so hard to deal with these Dark Bindings. So many little tricks with Fog of War that Crepo knows. It's a lot like playing Thresh in the sense that you're just trying to land those Dark Bindings. They come out a lot faster, too. There's a half-second delay on the Thresh hook, a 0.15-second cast time on that Dark Binding, so we can shoot it out right away. Get the 3-second root down.
And even in the laning phase, it still seems like people are getting caught off guard by the Dark Binding range a few times here and there, or maybe the width not getting a good sidestep in. It definitely has been creating plays, and Organa's definitely bringing back the Black Shield. Soul Shackle, very strong within the LCS. 26 minutes into this one, we have 11-5 and 4-2 in turrets. XDG was able to get a little bit of that gold back, but still that top turret's not going to give them really any good lanes to push.
And I think this game is also another example of how EG, when their plans work, their plans are really good. You know, their poke composition, since they got the lead, is being executed very well. The Dark Binding synergy with the Gragas and Nidalee is just wrecking XGG, and it's because they were able to escape that early game that they're now executing their strategies. Strategically, EG is a very sound team when they are ahead. It's just when they get behind, they start making desperate moves. XGG needs to find something that can force EG into that desperation mode when they make most of their mistakes.
Black Shield coming. Oh, ManCloud almost gets exploded right back on the flash over the wall from the Soul Shackle. It's all on to Pobelter now. There's the Zanyas, but they did get a good assault battery. Over to the right side, Snoopy getting a good kill for himself as Sheep is now running for his life, but he's not going to be able to make it too far. Snoopy coming up with a big kill on that one. We also see on the other side, almost the ace coming in. Benny still alive. The only one that needed to be in the fight.
Benny was not close to that one. It was an unexpected fight, mostly, right off the bat. They tried to turn on to Crepo, but they just didn't have as many people in the area, and it's just the Black Shield allows him to flash over the wall. I don't think it blocked any damage from the Kazakhs. It just wasn't enough burst, and just EG's collapse after that one was sufficient enough to get them. Red buff ends up taking him down.
That was pretty cool.
Almost got his Vault Breaker down.
It's like, you're not going anywhere. I'm flashing into your Vault Breaker. Close. No cigar. I did like the fact that Crepo, when he was going to die, he's like, I'm going up to flash over Baron because he saw the cavalry running at him.
Yeah.
It was close. He definitely would have gone down. Kept himself alive with a lot of patience. 28 minutes into this, 15-6. EG racking up kills as well as those turrets. But the turrets have been slowing down quite a bit. They need to make a move, not just grabbing these objectives, grabbing the gold. The other fights are going to get easier, but you got to make the fights happen. You got to get into it. It's at 8,000 gold, by the way, right now.
Yeah.
So these fights should be quick.
Just a note, with the needlessly large rod and the black shield, that thing's doing about, it's 4 ranks in, it's got 290 base on the black shield, plus 89 from the ability power ratio, so it can block a good chunk of anti-tibbers or just random magic damage that happens. Like, it doesn't seem like black shield would help him at all against Kha'Zix, but it can stop from getting slowed, and it can stop the damage from unseen threat, the Kha'Zix passive, which combined was enough to help him escape a little bit extra in that last fight.
You can see they are getting Crepo into range. They are trying to get these dark bindings down, and now they're making some moves for themselves. The bottom turret's going to go down. EG picks up some more gold for themselves as well as confidence in this matchup 29 minutes in.
And this is a near impossible situation for XDG to be in. They are trapped as 5 within their base against a Baroned up poke team who can rush down that turret, and they don't have flash on Sheep for Annie and a clean initiation. It is very difficult for XG to do anything useful here.
That heal coming out from Inox onto Yellow Pete, giving him so much attack speed steroid. These turrets are falling quite fast, and Yellow Pete's the only one really to be approaching it. The team's throwing everything from behind him and over his shoulders, kind of giving him a little support.
Yeah, it's not going to be too many more waves before enough of that poke hits.
Oh,
so painful right now. If you're XDG.
Yellow Pete already with the GA, so they know they can't initially go on him as well. They can't waste too much. This is really well strategically played for 2 turrets in a row by EG. Yeah,
now the question is, do they rotate for another outer turret or do they continue for the inhibitor? Because there is a flank attack being planned by Benny.
Well, EG knows they can use this 8,000 gold, 9,000 almost now, quite efficiently, and they are. Not putting themselves in any dangerous positions and making sure it's going to be XDG that initiates the fight.
Just waiting for one of those bindings to land.
Ooh.
And now with the Dragon's descent down.
Uh-oh! One after the other, the barrel's not close enough, but the cask, it gets thrown downtown. A good kill from Pole Belter. Xmithy's going to be going down as well. Can there be enough focus? ManCloud's the next one. Pole Belter looks good in gold. Zuna's going to try for one more shot. He gets the Peacemaker. Able to take down Pole Belter, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. 3-1 in the overall fight. EG comes out on top.
I think it's going to be enough to keep them in the game because pushing 4v2 into these Nexus turrets is a little difficult, but they're going to try anyway with the Baron buff. Oh my, ManCloud, Benny, full health. They're just steamrolling these turrets. You got to put up a fight.
Yellow Pete crushing down those turrets, trying to get that heal from Inox in. ManCloud looking for somebody he can jump on. Goes for Crepo. The kill actually goes over to Benny. See if they can get it again, but they cannot. ManCloud is down. The Nexus is down. 31 minutes in. Evil Geniuses brings themselves to 6-12 on the spring split, beating out XDG.
The emotion coming out from Yellow Pete there.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug.
Very rare moment. Double hugs from Yellow Pete. But really, impressive move by EG. Screams coming out from fans as well. A good comeback after yesterday's disappointment for them.
I think Snoopy feels pretty good there. Brought out the Evelyn yesterday. Had his good counter jungling moments, but did not get the win. This time, he turns that around. Got to win. Good play all around. Inox keeping himself level on the Nidalee in the top lane so they could make the composition work when they got to the poking phase, which is, oh my god, oh so much of what they had. Poke after poke after poke.
Flex coming from